There comes a time in every life where silence becomes too loud, where the mirror stares back, not just with reflection, but with questions. Am I enough? Why do I feel small? Where did my confidence go? If you're here, it's not by accident. Something inside you is ready to rise, to evolve, to claim your presence in this world. This is your moment. Your journey back to the strongest version of yourself, not by magic, not by pretending, but by simple, powerful actions you take every single day. These are not just tips, these are keys to your confidence, to your truth, to the personality that was always meant to shine. Let's begin. The power of first impressions, though, is a truth we often overlook in the noise of daily life. We are constantly being seen, felt, and judged before we ever speak a single word. In the first few seconds of meeting someone, before your voice even reaches their ears, they have already formed a story about who you are, your presence, your posture, your expression, the way you carry yourself. These all speak long before your voice does. And that is not something to fear. It's something to own. Because when you realize that you hold that power, you stop being a victim of how others perceive you, and you start becoming the author of your own energy. First impressions are not about pretending, they're about alignment. Aligning the truth of who you are with the message your body and energy are sending out into the world. Every day, the world meets you again, and every day, you get to choose what kind of energy you step into the room with. Whether that room is your workplace, your gym, a date, or even just your own reflection. Confidence is not about being the loudest or the boldest. It's about being centered, grounded, and present. And one of the most transformative things you can do starting today is to become intentional about how you enter a space. Start with your body. Stand tall, not stiff, not arrogant, but tall in your truth. Your spine straight, shoulders back, head up, not to impress others, but to remind yourself that you have a right to be here. Because posture is not just physical, it's psychological. When your body expands, your mind follows. When you take up space, internally and externally, you begin to believe you deserve that space. Next, your eyes are the gateway to your truth. They can speak confidence or insecurity in a single glance. When you look people in the eye, not in aggression, not in fear, but in presence, you communicate trust. You communicate awareness. You say without saying, I see you, and I am not hiding. Practice this daily, even in brief encounters, at the grocery store, in the elevator, with the barista. Look people in the eye and smile, not to please them, but to project warmth and presence. Over time, this becomes who you are, not just what you do. Then comes your voice. Your voice is not just sound, it's vibration. It carries your energy, your intention, your belief in yourself. So speak clearly, speak slowly. Let your words land. Too often, we rush through our sentences, afraid of taking up too much time or space. But when you slow down, when you allow your words to breathe, people listen. More importantly, you begin to listen to yourself. Confidence is not volume, it's clarity. Let your voice be steady, not forced, but rooted. Practice reading out loud to yourself each morning, not just to practice words, but to practice presence. The more you hear yourself speak with purpose, the more natural it becomes to live with it. And then there's your energy, the most invisible, yet most powerful part of your first impression. It's not about being cheerful all the time. It's about being intentional. When you walk into a room, ask yourself, what am I bringing in with me? Am I carrying stress, doubt, fear, or am I walking in with purpose, with calm, with quiet power? You don't need to be the center of attention, to be unforgettable. You just need to be real and anchored. People remember how you made them feel far more than what you said. So give them something solid to feel. Give them the experience of someone who has done the work within. This is not about performance. It's about alignment between who you truly are and what the world experiences when they meet you. It's about reminding yourself that you are not invisible and you are not small. You don't need to fix yourself. You only need to present yourself fully, authentically, consistently. Because the most magnetic thing in the world is someone who walks into a room, not needing to prove anything, but simply being everything they already are. Morning rituals that shape a confident mindset is a silent battle that begins the moment you wake up, before the world sees your face, before you check your phone, before you speak to a single soul. The day is already asking you a question. Who will you be today? And how you answer that question doesn't start with words. It starts with ritual. It starts with what you choose to do in the first moments you rise. Confidence is not something that magically appears when you're standing in front of a crowd, or walking into an interview, or facing the pressure of the world. Confidence is born in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It is built in the small, sacred routines that you practice every morning. When you declare to yourself and to life that you are in control of your state, your thoughts, your energy. The first 30 minutes of your day are not just another half hour. They are the foundation of your mental and emotional architecture. They are your opportunity to take the steering wheel before life tries to drive you. When you wake up and immediately check your phone, dive into social media, or scroll through emails, you are handing your power away before your feet even touch the ground. You are saying, tell me who I am today. Tell me what to feel. Tell me what matters. But you are not here to react. You are here to create. Begin with intention. Wake up, and before anything else, breathe. Not rushed, not shallow, not distracted, but present. Deep breaths. Let oxygen fill your body, not just to wake you up, but to ground you. Inhale the belief that today can be different. Exhale the noise of yesterday. This is your moment to reset. Next, speak. Yes, speak even if it feels strange at first. Affirm yourself out loud, not with empty cliches, but with words that reach your core. Say, I am enough. Say, I move with purpose. Say, I am building something better. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, speak it anyway, because repetition rewires belief. What you say to yourself repeatedly becomes your internal truth. Then visualize, close your eyes, and see the version of you that you're growing into. Not just what you look like, but how you stand, how you handle conflict, how you speak with calm and power, How you walk into the room with peace instead of anxiety. How you finish your tasks. How you treat others. How you hold your boundaries. See that version of you and step into that skin before the day tries to pull you away from it. When you hold that image in your mind, even for a minute or two each morning, you begin training your nervous system to feel familiar with the future you're building. It becomes less of a dream and more of a direction. And now, move your body, not for punishment, not for perfection, but for activation. Your physical state is the doorway to your mental state. When your body is in motion, whether it's a walk, a stretch, a workout, or a dance, your brain begins to release chemicals of clarity, motivation, and strength. Your posture changes, your energy rises. You shift from victim mode into creator mode. Don't let your first energy of the day be fatigue or stress. Let it be movement. Let it be power. You are not meant to feel small in your own skin. And finally, protect your focus. Before you check into the world, check in with yourself. Ask, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? What kind of person do I want to be? Write down 3 intentions, not goals. Intentions. A goal is what you want to achieve. An intention is who you choose to be while you're achieving it. Do you want to move with confidence, with patience, with clarity, with strength, with peace? Let that guide you, because when the chaos of the day comes rushing in, your morning ritual becomes your anchor. It becomes the place you return to mentally, emotionally, when everything else feels uncertain. Communication. Speak with impact. Listen with depth. Is no greater display of confidence than the way you communicate, not just the words you say, but how you say them, why you say them, and who you become when you're speaking. The truth is, you can have the best ideas, the strongest values, even the kindest heart. But if you don't know how to communicate with clarity and presence, the world may never truly see you. Confidence and personality are both deeply rooted. In communication, they are not just about talking, they are about connection, expression, and intention. Every day, you're speaking volumes even in silence. Your voice, your tone, your pace, your body language, your eye contact, each of these pieces paints a picture of your self-image. And the world responds not just to the message, but to the messenger. So if you want to be heard, if you want to leave a mark, if you want people to feel your presence when you speak, you have to start by respecting your own voice. Speak with intention. That means no more rushing through your words just to fill the silence. No more talking just to be liked. No more shrinking your message because you're afraid of how it might land. Confidence comes from clarity, and clarity begins with slowing down. When you speak slowly and clearly, you give weight to your words. You tell the listener, I mean what I say. And more importantly, you tell yourself that what you're saying matters. Pay attention to the tone you use. A weak tone sends a message of uncertainty. A harsh tone communicates defensiveness. But a calm, steady tone rooted in self-trust invites respect. It's not about being loud. It's about being grounded. Speak from your chest, not your throat. Let your voice come from a place of certainty. Even if your hands are shaking, even if you're nervous, especially when you're nervous, because that's when it matters most. But speaking is only half of the equation. The other half, the more powerful half, is listening. Not passive listening. Not waiting for your turn to talk. But deep, focused, intentional listening. When you truly listen, you give someone the gift of being seen. And when people feel seen, they open up. They connect. They trust. And your personality becomes magnetic, not because you're entertaining, but because you're present. Listening also sharpens your confidence. It teaches you patience. It teaches you awareness. It makes you more emotionally intelligent, more relatable, more wise, because when you're constantly talking, you only hear what you already know. But when you listen, you grow. You begin to understand people, not just react to them. You begin to notice what goes unsaid, and in that awareness, your communication becomes deeper, more powerful, more human. Start practicing daily intentional conversations. Put your phone away. Look people in the eye. Don't just respond, reflect. Ask deeper questions. Get curious about the people in front of you. That curiosity makes you unforgettable. That curiosity makes you confident. Because real confidence isn't just talking well, it's connecting deeply. And then there is the power of silence. One of the most underused but most potent tools in communication. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. It shows control. It shows security. When you're not afraid to pause, when you're not scrambling to fill every moment with noise, you create space. Space for your words to land. Space for your presence to expand. And in that space, people listen more closely. You don't have to shout to be heard. You just have to speak with purpose and pause with power. So, speak with impact. Let your words carry weight, not because you force them, but because you believe in them. Listen with depth. Let your attention be a gift. Let your silence be golden. And let your daily communication reflect the truth of who you are, not someone trying to be liked, but someone who has something real to say and the presence to back it up. Self-awareness, the foundation of personality. You can improve who you are. You must first understand who you are, because confidence without self-awareness is just ego, and personality without self-awareness is performance. You can learn all the speaking techniques. Dress sharply, hold good posture, master your morning routine, but if you're not grounded in self-awareness, it will all feel empty, surface level, like a mask, and deep down, you'll know you're pretending. True confidence is not the absence of doubt. It's the presence of understanding. You know your strengths. You know your flaws. You know your triggers, your values, your fears, and your dreams. And because you know them, they don't control you. They don't sabotage your behavior. They don't hijack your conversations or damage your relationships. That is the power of self-awareness. It gives you freedom. Freedom to be fully yourself, without apology, and without pretending to be more or less than you truly are. Self-awareness is not something you find once and forget. It's a practice, a daily check-in, a conversation between you and the truth. Every day, ask yourself, why did I react that way? Why did that moment trigger me? Was I speaking from confidence or insecurity? Did I shrink to please someone else, or did I stay rooted in who I am? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary, because the more honest, you are with yourself, the more powerful you become. Your personality begins with knowing what you stand for. What values do you hold close when no one's watching? Is it honesty? Is it loyalty? Is it discipline? Is it peace? When you are clear on your values, you stop being shaped by every situation you walk into. Instead, you bring your identity into every room. And that consistency between who you are and how you act is what makes a personality magnetic. People trust what's real. They feel it. And when you are anchored in who you are, you don't need to constantly chase approval or fear rejection. You become someone who stands tall in the storm. But it also means knowing your patterns. What habits are holding you back? What emotional cycles do you keep repeating? Where do you go when you're hurt? Do you shut down? Do you lash out? Do you run away? Self-awareness gives you power over those patterns. It doesn't mean you're perfect, it means you are conscious. You catch yourself in the moment. You pause instead of react, and over time, you evolve. One of the simplest yet most transformative daily habits for building self-awareness is reflection. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes. Sit in silence, no distractions. Ask, what did I learn about myself today? What did I do well? Where did I fall short of who I want to be? Write it down. Not to judge yourself, but to see yourself. Clarity is a gift you give yourself. And when you begin to see yourself clearly, you stop fearing the opinions of others. You stop needing their validation because you are no longer confused about who you are. Another powerful practice is emotional labeling. When something shakes, you pause and give the emotion a name. This is anger. This is fear. This is disappointment. Why? Because when you name it, you stop becoming it. You create distance between you and the emotion. And in that distance, you regain control. You can choose your next move with awareness, not impulse. Your personality is not fixed. It's not some label you were born with. It's a living, breathing extension of your self-awareness. As you grow more conscious, more honest, more intentional, your personality becomes more grounded, more authentic, more powerful, and your confidence, it becomes real, not performative, not forced, but earned, built on the deepest foundation. There is knowing yourself fully and choosing to show up anyway. Mind your environment. Energy is contagious. You don't rise above your environment, you reflect it. Whether you realize it or not, every single day, your energy is being shaped by what surrounds you. The people you talk to, the rooms you walk into, the content you consume, the conversations you tolerate. These aren't just background noise. They're blueprints. They're building or breaking the confidence and personality you're trying to grow. That's why if you're serious about becoming better, stronger, more grounded, you must become brutally honest about your environment. Because energy is contagious, and you cannot become your highest self in a space that keeps pulling you back to your lowest. Look around at your daily world. What's the energy of the spaces you spend the most time in? Is it heavy? Is it chaotic? Is it draining? Or is it focused, clean, inspiring, alive? Your physical space, your bedroom, your desk, your car, it reflects your internal state. And just as easily, it can influence it. A cluttered space often mirrors a cluttered mind. A chaotic environment breeds anxious thoughts. You don't have to redesign your entire life overnight, but you do have to take control of the details. Clean your space not for aesthetics, but for clarity. Light a candle. Open the windows. Organize your desk. Let your environment be a mirror of the discipline and peace you're building inside. Now think about your digital space. Every scroll, every tap, every video, it's feeding your mind something. Are you being inspired, challenged, educated? Or are you being drained, distracted, and numbed? You can't complain about feeling stuck and anxious if your phone is a constant portal to comparison, gossip, and negativity. Your screen time isn't just costing you hours, it's costing you identity. You become what you feed your mind. So be ruthless about what you follow. Mute the noise. Follow people and pages that remind you of your power, not your pain. Create a feed that fuels you, not one that fools you into thinking you're not enough. But the most powerful environment you'll ever have is the people. The voices closest to you will shape how you see yourself. That is not drama. That is psychology. If you're constantly surrounded by people who belittle your dreams, downplay your growth, or laugh when you try to better yourself, you will eventually start shrinking just to fit their comfort zone. And that's not love. That's control. You don't need a crowd around you. You need a circle. A few real, honest, growth-minded people who challenge you when you're lazy, support you when you're scared, and celebrate you without secretly competing. If your current circle can't do that, then it's time to level up not just your mindset, but your environment. This doesn't mean you cut everyone off and disappear into isolation. It means you become intentional. You create boundaries. You stop giving your energy to places that don't respect it. You limit time with people who drain you, and you invest deeper into those who fuel your fire. You shift from survival mode into alignment, because when you're surrounded by the right energy, your potential expands. You begin to think bigger. You speak with more conviction. You believe in yourself more deeply, not because someone told you to, but because your environment reflects the life you're building. It's also important to remember you are part of someone else's environment, too. What energy do you bring into rooms? Do people feel lighter when you show up or more tense? Are you encouraging, present, real? Or do you unconsciously spread negativity, sarcasm, or judgment? Your energy is not neutral. You are either giving power or draining it. And when you commit to becoming a source of strong, grounded, uplifting energy, you not only transform your own environment, you elevate everyone around you. Embrace discomfort. Growth lives there every time you avoid discomfort. You choose temporary relief over long-term growth. You choose safety over transformation. You choose comfort over the confidence you say you want. But here's the truth: growth doesn't live where it's easy. It lives where it's uncomfortable. It lives in the tension between who you are and who you're becoming. And if you truly want to become stronger, bolder, more confident, and more powerful in your presence, you must learn to lean into discomfort, not run from it. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's your signal. It's the voice that whispers, "This matters." It's what you feel right before a breakthrough. Think about every version of yourself that you're proud of today, every skill you've mastered, every fear you've overcome. Every hard conversation you've survived, it all came from moments that stretched you, that made your heart race, that made your hands sweat, that made you question whether or not you could handle it. But you did. You made it through. And now those moments are proof. Proof that you are stronger than your fear. The problem is, most people live their entire lives trying to avoid that stretch. They mistake discomfort for danger. They label it as a threat instead of a teacher. So they stay in jobs they hate, relationships that don't grow, routines that dull their soul. And they wonder why their confidence never rises, why their personality feels hidden beneath layers of fear. It's because they've built a life around staying comfortable. But here's the raw truth. Comfort doesn't build character. It just preserves what already exists. Confidence is a muscle, and like any muscle, it only grows when you push it beyond its current limits. If you only ever do what's easy, you'll only ever stay where you are. That's why one of the most powerful habits you can develop is to do one uncomfortable thing every single day. Not massive, life-changing leaps. Small, daily acts of courage. Speak up in the meeting. Make the difficult phone call. Introduce yourself to someone new. Set a boundary. Say no when you usually say yes. Say yes when you're tempted to say no. Whatever it is, lean in. And when you do, expect resistance. Your brain will try to protect you. It will scream, "This feels wrong. This is scary. You're not ready." But that's not truth. That's survival. Your brain doesn't want you to grow, it wants you to stay safe. But safety isn't always aligned with purpose. Sometimes the path to becoming who you're meant to be requires walking straight through the fire. And the fire is where the transformation happens. The beauty is, the more you practice this, the more familiar discomfort becomes. It doesn't get easier, but you get stronger. What used to terrify you becomes manageable. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. And over time, your comfort zone expands. Your personality expands. Your confidence expands. You stop shrinking when life challenges you and instead, you start rising. Here's what most people miss. Discomfort doesn't just build confidence. It reveals your identity. When you face hard things and come out the other side, you don't just feel stronger, you know yourself on a deeper level. You discover what you're capable of. You see how much you can handle. And that self-knowledge is one of the most powerful tools in the world. Because when you know you've survived the storm, you stop fearing the rain. So when discomfort shows up, don't run. Don't numb it. Don't avoid it. Meet it. Feel it. Learn from it. Let it stretch you. Let it introduce you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Because inside every uncomfortable moment is an invitation to evolve. Celebrate small wins, the art of momentum somewhere along the way. We were taught that only the big victories count, that unless it's a massive promotion, a perfect body transformation, a huge life milestone, it's not worth celebrating. But that mindset is one of the biggest killers of confidence and progress. Because real transformation doesn't come from one big leap. It comes from small, consistent steps taken day after day, in silence, in private, when no one is watching. And when you ignore those steps, when you overlook those small wins, You rob yourself of the momentum that builds lasting change. Confidence is not something you stumble upon. It's something you build, brick by brick, day by day, and every small win is a brick in that foundation. Waking up early when you didn't feel like it. Saying no to an old habit that used to control you. Speaking up when your voice was shaking. Finishing a task you've been avoiding. Choosing peace over reaction. These might seem like nothing in the moment, but over time, they become everything. These are the moments that shape you, that teach you discipline, that teach you trust in yourself, that whisper, you are doing better than you think. But most people miss them. They're so focused on what's next, on what's missing, on what hasn't happened yet that they never stop to acknowledge how far they've come. They never give themselves credit for showing up on the hard days. They move the goalpost so often that nothing ever feels good enough. And that mindset keeps them stuck. Because when progress feels invisible, motivation dies. And when you don't feel like you're growing, you stop trying. That's why learning to celebrate small wins isn't just motivational fluff, it's psychological fuel. It builds identity. It builds momentum. It builds belief. Your brain is wired to repeat what gets rewarded. So when you pause, acknowledge, and celebrate a small win, you're reinforcing the behavior that created it. You're telling your nervous system, this is who we are now. This is what we do. And slowly, the actions that once felt hard begin to feel normal. That's the art of momentum. It doesn't come from hype. It comes from evidence. And every time you honor your progress, you collect that evidence dots, so build a ritual around it. Every night, before your head hits the pillow, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me forward? Don't let your mind skip over the subtle wins. Did you drink more water? Did you focus for 30 minutes without checking your phone? Did you speak kindly to yourself when you messed up? Did you keep a promise you made to yourself? Write it down. Say it out loud. Smile about it. You don't need a parade. You just need presence. Because when you become the kind of person who notices progress, you become the kind of person who creates more of it. And don't wait for permission to be proud of yourself. Too many people are holding their confidence hostage, waiting for validation from others, waiting for someone to clap, waiting for someone to notice. But you don't need that. You can be proud in private. You can be proud quietly, powerfully, without needing to explain it. Your small wins matter because they are the steps no one else sees. The steps that are hardest to take. The steps that separate the dreamers from the doers. And here's something else: when you learn to celebrate your small wins, you become someone who can recognize and celebrate the wins of others. You stop comparing. You stop competing. Because you understand what growth really looks like. You know how hard it is to keep going. So when you see someone else rising, you cheer not from insecurity, but from empathy. That's what builds real connection. That's what shapes your personality into one that lifts others instead of needing to stand above them. Practice gratitude. Shift your perspective. Transform your reality in the rush of daily life. It's easy to overlook the quiet power of gratitude. We get caught up in what's missing, what's broken, what hasn't yet been achieved. And it pulls us down into a place of frustration. doubt, and sometimes even despair. But gratitude, practiced deeply and sincerely, is a transformational force. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's not just about saying thank you for the obvious blessings. It's about rewiring your entire mindset to see the good that exists even in the struggle. Because when you learn to be grateful in the small moments, your personality begins to glow with a light that no challenge can dim. Your confidence rises not because your life is perfect, but because you have chosen to see its value. Gratitude is a choice. It's a decision you make every day, every moment. And that choice changes your brain. Neuroscience shows that when you focus on what you appreciate, your brain releases chemicals that increase happiness, reduce stress, and improve your emotional resilience. But beyond science, gratitude is a spiritual act. It's the way you tell the universe, I am enough, I have enough, and I'm open to receiving more. When you practice gratitude sincerely, you invite abundance into your life, not just materially, but emotionally and spiritually. What makes gratitude so powerful for personality and confidence is that it shifts your internal dialogue. The voice inside your head, the one that judges, criticizes, compares, and doubts, loses its grip when you train yourself to see what is going right. Imagine waking up each morning and instead of immediately diving into a list of worries or complaints, you paused and recognized something, even the smallest thing that you're thankful for. It might be the air you breathe, the comfort of your bed, the smile from a stranger, or simply the chance to try again today. That pause rewires your thoughts from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith. This shift doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging the hard while choosing to see the good alongside it. You can feel disappointment and still be grateful. You can experience loss and still find moments of joy. That complexity makes your personality rich and relatable. People are drawn to those who can hold both light and shadow with grace. That balance creates authenticity, and authenticity is magnetic. Building a daily gratitude practice is one of the simplest, yet most profound steps you can take to improve your confidence. Start small. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Don't overthink it. They don't have to be monumental. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun, the taste of your morning coffee, or the kindness of a co-worker. Over time, this habit rewires your brain to scan for positivity rather than negativity. And when you scan for positivity, your energy changes, your posture changes, your words change. You carry yourself differently because you feel differently. But gratitude doesn't stop with the written word. It grows in action. When you begin to express your gratitude to others, whether through a simple thank you, a smile, or a heartfelt note, you create connection. You build bridges, and in doing so, you reinforce your own sense of worth and belonging. Confidence is not just about how you see yourself, but also about how you interact with the world. Gratitude deepens those interactions and strengthens the invisible threads that hold relationships together. There will be days when gratitude feels impossible, when life seems heavy and your heart is tired. Those are the days when gratitude is most needed. When you choose to look for even the smallest spark of light in the darkness, You give yourself permission to heal and grow. You tell yourself that you are not defined by your struggles, but by your resilience. You become a person who, no matter the circumstance, can find a reason to keep going. This is the alchemy of gratitude. It transforms pain into power, fear into faith, and scarcity into abundance. It makes your personality shine with kindness, humility, and strength. It roots your confidence not in what you have or what you've done, but in the deep knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Speak with intention. Your words shape your world. Every word you speak is a seed planted in the garden of your life. Words have the power to build up or tear down, to heal or to harm, to inspire or to discourage. Yet, many of us speak without awareness, words spilling out like water from an unguarded faucet. Uncontrolled, thoughtless, reactive. But if you want to improve your personality and confidence, one of the most profound steps you can take is to learn to speak with intention, to speak deliberately, knowing that your voice shapes not only how others see you, but how you see yourself. Think about the last time you caught yourself saying something negative about yourself or someone else. Maybe it was a passing criticism or a moment of self-doubt voiced aloud. Notice how those words made you feel. Did they make you smaller? Did they pull you deeper into insecurity? Now imagine replacing those careless phrases with words that uplift, encourage, and affirm. Imagine the shift in your energy, the change in the way you hold yourself in the room. That's the power of intentional speech. When you speak with intention, you begin to own your voice. You realize that your words are not just sounds, they carry weight and meaning. They influence your mindset, shape your relationships, and ultimately determine the reality you create. It's a profound responsibility, but also a powerful gift. You have the ability to tell yourself stories that build confidence instead of doubt. You have the power to express your true self clearly and calmly, without fear of judgment or rejection. Intentional speaking starts with awareness. Before you say anything, especially in moments of stress or conflict, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is what I'm about to say true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? This simple practice creates space between your thoughts and your words. It stops you from reacting impulsively and allows you to respond with clarity and purpose. Over time, this pause becomes a muscle you can strengthen, a tool that helps you communicate more effectively and authentically. Another part of speaking with intention is choosing words that reflect your desired identity. When you describe yourself, your goals, and your experiences, do you use language that empowers or diminishes you? Do you say, I'm not good at this, or I'm learning and improving every day? Do you say, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm managing my challenges with strength? The words you use to frame your life matter deeply because they influence your brain's beliefs about what's possible. Positive, intentional language rewires your mind toward growth, while careless or negative language keeps you stuck in old patterns. The way you speak also shapes how others perceive your personality. People are drawn to those who speak with confidence and authenticity. Those who choose their words carefully, with calm assurance. When you speak with intention, your personality shines through as strong, grounded, and sincere. You don't need to be loud or boastful to be heard. your quiet confidence, delivered with deliberate words, commands respect and attention. It creates space for genuine connection. Because people sense your honesty and your self-respect. It's also important to recognize the power of non-verbal communication in your speech. Your tone, pace, and volume all convey emotion and intention. Speaking slowly and clearly shows confidence. A calm tone invites trust. A steady voice signals control over your emotions and your message. When your words and your body language align, your personality becomes magnetic. You become someone people want to listen to learn from, and to follow, of course. Speaking with intention doesn't mean you must be perfect or scripted. It means being present with your words and aware of their impact. It means letting go of the fear of saying the wrong thing and embracing the courage to say what's true for you. When you do, you free yourself from the prison of self-doubt and step into the freedom of authentic expression. Every day presents countless opportunities to practice this. Whether it's greeting a stranger, giving feedback at work, sharing your ideas in a meeting, or having a heart-to-heart with a loved one, your words carry weight. Choose to wield that power with intention and watch how your personality deepens. Your confidence grows and your world begins to shift. Invest in self-care. Nourish your mind, body, and soul when we think about building confidence and improving our personality. Self-care is often the overlooked cornerstone in a culture that glorifies hustle, productivity, and doing more. Taking time for yourself can feel selfish or indulgent, but nothing could be further from the truth. Self-care is the foundation upon which everything else rests. It is the soil from which your confidence, your energy, and your unique personality grow. Without nourishing your mind, body, and soul, you cannot stand tall in your full power or show up as your best self in the world. To invest in self-care is to say, I am worthy of attention and kindness. It is a radical act of self-respect, a declaration that your well-being matters as much as your goals and responsibilities. When you prioritize your needs, you send a message both to yourself and to the world that you are enough. This simple shift in mindset has the power to transform your confidence from fragile to unshakable. Start with the body, because it is the vessel that carries you through every moment of your life. Yet so often, we treat it like an afterthought, pushing it to the limit without rest or nourishment. Your body thrives on movement, rest, and nourishment, not punishment or neglect. When you make space for physical care, whether it's a walk outside, a yoga stretch, a nourishing meal, or a good night's sleep, you honor the sacred container that holds your personality and your dreams. You tell yourself that you deserve to feel good in your skin. And when your body feels strong and cared for, your confidence naturally follows. But self-care goes beyond the physical. It reaches deeply into your mind, the endless chatter, the stress, the worries that often drown out your inner voice of calm and courage. Mental self-care means setting boundaries with your thoughts and your time. It means learning to say no to what drains you and yes to what nourishes you. It means quieting the noise of comparison and criticism and tuning into your own truth. Practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking a few mindful breaths during the day create mental space where confidence can grow, because a mind that is rested, centered, and clear is a mind that believes in itself. And then there is the soul, the invisible part of you that craves meaning, connection, and joy. Soulful self-care might look different for everyone, but it always comes down to what fills your heart and ignites your passion. It might be spending time in nature, creating art, connecting with loved ones, or diving into a book that inspires you. When you feed your soul regularly, you cultivate a sense of purpose that radiates from within. This radiance is magnetic. It invites others in and makes your personality unforgettable. Investing in self-care is also about reclaiming your time and energy. In a world that constantly demands more, learning to protect your boundaries is essential. Saying no to extra commitments when you're stretched thin is not weakness, it's wisdom. Rest is not laziness, it's strategy. When you respect your limits, you build resilience. You create a reservoir of strength that you can draw from when life inevitably gets challenging. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It's an act of survival and thriving. When you take care of yourself, you increase your capacity to care for others, to contribute, and to lead with authenticity. You become a beacon of calm in the chaos, a source of steady energy in moments of uncertainty. Your personality grows richer because it is rooted in self-love and respect, not exhaustion and depletion. This is why investing in self-care daily is one of the most powerful tips to improve your personality and confidence. It's not about grand gestures, but consistent, loving choices that say, I matter, I am worthy. And when you make that your truth, the world can't help but notice. Our journey. Your power as we come to the close of this journey together. Remember this: every moment you choose to invest in yourself is a moment of courage. Every small step you take to improve your personality and build your confidence is a declaration that you are worthy, capable, and unstoppable. The path to becoming your best self is not paved with perfection, but with persistence. It's not about changing who you are, but about uncovering the strength and light that has always been inside you. You have learned that confidence is built not in grand gestures, but in daily habits: the way you speak, the way you treat yourself, the company you keep, and the kindness you show to your own soul. You have seen that your words shape your world, and your gratitude transforms your reality. You now hold the tools to nurture your mind, body, and spirit with self-care, and to celebrate every win, no matter how small. This journey is ongoing. Some days will be easier than others, and that's okay. Growth is not linear, it is messy, beautiful, and deeply human. When doubt creeps in, remember the power you hold, the power to pause, to choose, and to rise again. Your personality is your unique gift to the world, and your confidence is the key that unlocks your fullest potential. So go forward with intention and compassion for yourself. Speak your truth, embrace your worth, and surround yourself with those who lift you higher. Step into each day knowing that you are enough, just as you are, and that your best days lie ahead. This is your time, your journey, your power. Own it, live it, and shine.